Hello. Today we are going to make mandalas, and mandalas are really simple forms where you take shapes and you repeat them over and over again in a circle to create a radial design. And so it's really wonderful for kids and parents to do together. People of all ages love mandalas. And I'm making mine on this paper bag because I don't have any art paper and I want to make a big mandala. So when I go to Kroger, I always ask them to give me paper bags. And so that's what I'm going to use. With mandalas, you start in the middle with a simple shape. And so I'm going to actually just really start with the simplest shape, a circle. And then you begin to add shapes that go around it. Now, because I want it to be circular, I'm going to kind of start like this and make my shapes, so that they're all equal, or maybe not super equal. And then I'm going to add them. Now, sometimes you do have the problem, especially when you have a paper bag of this um, line here, but it really is not a big deal because we're just making it, we're giving ourselves a place to use color. And so I have the beginning of my mandala, and what looked like it might turn out to be horrible is already starting to look like it might not be too bad. And then I'm going to add some detail to these. And I'm going to just start adding shapes to my mandala over and over and over again. Now, the great thing about this is that when I start to add all of my details and then I start to color this in, it's really going to look fabulous. And you can do this, you don't have to have a marker. You obviously don't have to have art paper. You can have just a regular old paper shopping bag. And but you can do this with crayons. You can do this on regular old copy paper. And even if you don't feel like you're very good at art, mandalas are always going to look good because you repeat shapes and oh wow, I got two of those together. Look at that. Well, we'll just move on. It's not always going to be perfect. And really, I think perfection is overrated. All right, so now we're going to go from one of these to the other, and we're going to make sort of a petal shape. Now, this can be a little bit tricky when you haven't been, getting your shapes very symmetrical. But like I said, we're doing shapes that are simple, and we're going to have to see how I do it where I made that one mistake. What I'm going to do there. I wonder what I should do there. This is a really good opportunity for conversations with each other, because I'm going to actually just pretend like that one's not there. Because we can look at some of the things that we've done and we can be like, oh man, that is not perfect at all. But then you can kind of say, well, it's okay. It's all right if I don't get everything perfect. I don't have to have everything perfect. All I have to do is have good company, be hanging out with my family and friends, and have fun coloring and making patterns. And probably your mandala is going to look a lot better than my mandala because you're going to learn from all of my mistakes. And then I think I'm going to do, I want to make it kind of bigger because it's a little bit small, and I said I really wanted to make a big one, so I'm going to do that. But these shapes, I think, are a little bit boring. I don't have a lot going on with them. So I'm going to add some embellishments to them. But you can see that even though my mandala isn't perfect or even close to being perfect, it's still, because I'm using pattern, and wait till you see it with color. I mean, I can't wait to see it with color. I'm the one making it. It makes it look really good. And the thing about it is anything that we make with human hands is going to be imperfect. Anything you make with human hands is going to be imperfect. So you can't really say the only thing you want to do is, I only want to make art if it's going to be perfect. What you want to do is say, I want to make art with my family. We can do something like this together. Yeah, I like that. Let's see here. We'll make some, I think I'm going to just go ahead and follow this shape. Yeah, I like that. It's kind of easy to get lost in here though, so I want to be careful. And like if you're talking sometimes, I get lost in what I'm doing. So once I have all of this done, and I can keep going all the way out to the edges of the paper, then I can start choosing what colors I want to do. Now remember, if you have map pencils and copy paper, you have everything you need to do a mandala. I think it still needs some stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and make these circles. All right, so my circles are done, and I think I'm going to just finish it by connecting the circles with these sort of triangles. I'm not going to close the triangle though. I'm just going to connect it so that it's one solid shape. And I'm thinking seriously about cutting this shape out when I get done. So now that I have it all drawn out, and it looks pretty good. It's a little wonky, but it's going to look better because I'm going to go ahead and add color. And I got these markers for my birthday, so having markers is good. And you'll notice that on this paper, the colors aren't going to be quite as bright because the background is brown. But I can go through and I can color in all the different shapes. I also want to probably color in most of the background. However, because I have this brown paper bag, it kind of is a color in itself, so I don't have to color every single thing. And so I'm going to go through and color everything, and then we'll see what the final product looks like. I think that I'm going to leave it like that. I don't think I want to color in that background. I really don't. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my mandala out so that it's just the circle. I think it's easier if I do it this way. And then I just cut all those little triangles out. That might take a while. And there you have it, my finished, oh darn, I just ripped it. My finished mandala. It didn't turn out too bad. I like it. I like all the color. I think the color made a big difference. There, now that it's still. And since I'm not super worried about perfection, it's perfect.